Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
Welcome to the Pilot Podcast,
where we review the pilot episodes of TV shows to answer your question, should I watch this?
My name is BJ.
And my name is Mitu.
And this week, we're watching Star Wars Visions Presents The Ninth Jedi on Disney+, The Shards on FX and Hulu, and Sterling Point on Prime Video.
So stay tuned to the end to find out BJ's favorite Star Wars iteration.
Oh, okay. I'll need some time to think about that.
Until then, why don't you let us know what happens in their first entree into anime?
In this show, we follow Kara, voiced by Kimiko Glenn, and her ragtag Jedi crew as they seek out to find worthy Jedi to fight against an increasingly powerful warlord. So, Mitu, were you excited to dive back into the world of Star Wars, this time with new Jedi that we haven't met before?
I've watched a lot more Star Wars than I thought I would because of how many things that Disney has been putting out. I'm not sure how the fans feel about it. I see very mixed reviews at the amount of production coming out under this IP. I actually want to reverse the question to you as our resident nerd.
Oh.
I saw that this is a non-canon story. How did you feel about this take on it? Was it original enough? Because I saw on Reddit, I want to credit this person, Nightwolf8394 asked the question,
Ooh.
If it's not canon, why not go all out and do something original? Why not do something different?
I think that is a reasonable comment, Redditor. Thank you for citing your sources.
Of course.
I thought this was an engaging story. I really liked the lightsaber action and the use of force powers, the ship battles, and I think what is Star Wars' strength and weakness is that they have a few set of maybe like rules that they apply to every show so it feels like Star Wars.
Yeah.
And this team stuck to that. And maybe people disappointed with the franchise wanted this to be their chance to branch out further.
I felt like even I picked up on the pattern. I enjoyed the anime style. I enjoyed the animation and the action. But it felt like, all right, we have our plucky young lead. We have this ragtag crew. We have an evil army. We have the sedition Jedis trying to right the wrongs, going against the tide to make it happen. We had these key elements. I just didn't have strong feelings as a non-Star Wars person, but I was curious if you and Hive felt differently.
I don't mind it. I like that they're following some of the things that we're comfortable with in the Star Wars universe, but these are new characters. I think my issue, and I know other people in the community feel the same, is that we've stuck with the Skywalker family for so long. And I think just branching out to something completely independent is enough for it to feel fresh and interesting.
Fair. Also, a shout out to JP Carliak, a friend of the show, being a great voice in this.
We have another fun droid as in Gramps, and I think that's also another staple of Star Wars, and I liked this iteration.
All right, with that, do you want to watch more Star Wars Vision Presents The Ninth Jedi on Disney+?
I will watch again seriously. I want to see what's going on with Kara, her father, her crew, and I like the idea of uncovering all the kind of separated Jedi in the galaxy. How do you feel?
That's a good point. It's good stakes. I love like a searching for my father story. For me, as a non-Star Wars Hive, as not really anime Hive, I will probably not watch again. However, for people who are not Star Wars Hive, there are other great programs within this new universe of Disney putting all these things out that I would recommend. I really liked Andor. I liked The Acolyte, RIP. So I would recommend those if you are looking to get into this and wanting to see what these like additional tellings around this universe look like.
Those are both solid recommendations.
Thank you.
So how about we go from a galaxy far, far away to Los Angeles?
You're talking about The Shards on FX on Hulu. Based on the best-selling Bret Easton Ellis book of the same name, this show follows Ellis, played by Igby Rigney, who is in his final year at an elite prep school and entranced with a new student, Robert, played by Homer Gear, whose unsettling presence coincides with the activities of a serial killer known as the Trawler.
I have to just get this out there, me too.
Yeah.
This felt like a long pilot episode.
I'm not kidding. The amount of narration in this first episode, there was so much speech that I thought, is this like a Audible presents FX, Hulu? Because all the brands right now are like super combining like Transformers into whatever they need to be. And so I genuinely thought there was an audiobook integration because Bret Easton Ellis is part of the creative team behind this show too.
Oh.
And I was genuinely surprised to see that it was not, and that this was just a choice. And it really feels like he is reading a book. Our lead is our narrator, and it is just a constant stream of speech, but it is like describing what we're seeing as it's happening.
It's a choice. I think they were really trying to lean into Ellis's interest in being a writer and writing screenplays, and they wanted to play it up with the narration. But like you said, our lead is narrating as if it's a screenplay. I walked over here. I felt this way. I saw this. I did that. And that's not helpful or interesting.
And there are some really scary things that happen in this. We see someone, as a light spoiler, hunted, it seems, by the serial killer. One of the themes of this first episode is a lot of people's pets are missing.
Yeah.
And there is this very, very gruesome, violent moment where we see one of the victims of the serial killer. And even with all of that, I did not feel that scared. I was grossed out by a couple of the things I saw, but I never really felt this overwhelming tension that I think I should have felt, and a care for either these characters or this community. Even if I don't particularly like them, I should care to see if they make it or not, and I just didn't care.
That's a good point. It is a very creepy concept for a serial killer, but I think because Ellis and his friends are these wealthy, independent adults who are 17-year-olds,
Yeah.
it's hard to care about them. They come across as so mature and grown up, but in these high school settings and situations that it's difficult to connect with them. They don't feel like real people.
And that can be fun and juicy. You can have very, very good, juicy tropes of rich kids with a lot of drama, whether there's a serial killer involved or whether it's Sarah Michelle Gellar being really creepy at like a fancy prep school. There are so many different ways that you can take something like this. It just felt like there was such potential for it to be juicy with these rich kids who are leading these very adult lives, completely independent, not many parents to be seen. And then the parents that you do see, some weird stuff happens.
Yeah.
But there just isn't enough juice mined there. I will say that I like an unreliable narrator. I like that, again, too much narration, but I like that you can't trust what he's saying.
We can't trust what he's saying, but what's also confusing is, light spoiler, there is a point where we can trust what he's saying, but other people don't. And then you start to question who's telling the truth.
And again, still seems like a really great potential for juice, and it didn't feel juicy enough.
No, but I see the potential. I kind of wish they were a little more cheesy and corny. This could have been a fun Scooby-Doo-like take of solving a serial killer in the neighborhood with these wealthy elite prep school kids. And I guess there's still room for it to take that turn.
Or you go full thriller, but make it thrilling.
Yeah, very thrilling and creepy.
Yes. With that, do you want to watch more of the Shards on FX on Hulu?
I think this is something where I'll give it another 2 episodes.
Okay.
While folding laundry. A little distracted. I mean, to be honest, you can just listen to the show and you'll get 90% of what's happening. And I'll see if they amp up the thriller aspect. How do you feel?
This is going to sound like such a cheesy cop-out.
Uh-oh.
I think for watching more of the show, uh-oh's rude. For watching more of the show, I guess I'll give it another episode while folding laundry or while cooking so that I can see if they find the juice as the show goes on, because there is potential. It did just make me want to read it. It did just make me want to read the book. And I've heard the book is excellent. So it did just make me want to tune into that.
I like that. Would you do the audiobook?
I feel like I've done it, but no. I have trouble with audiobooks. Maybe that's why I didn't like the narration.
Oh, not your style for this storytelling.
No, I like to read it. It makes me feel more like I'm in it when I read it.
That makes sense.
All right. Well, why don't you take us from fancy California to rugged Canada?
You're talking about Sterling Point on Prime Video. Annie Jacobson, played by Ella Rubin, has her life turned upside down when she inherits her mysterious grandfather's island in Canada. There, she'll find new friends, budding romances, and untold family secrets.
Ooh.
So, Mitu, you love a good teen drama. You love secrets and mysteries to be revealed. What'd you think of this show?
Between the Shards and this show, I do think perhaps we need to do a wellness check on America's wealthy youth. I'm understanding now y'all can live independently, travel internationally, live alone with your little siblings, fly seaplanes, work, throw parties, just kind of do whatever you need to do just independently, no adults involved, and with big stakes attached to a lot of this stuff. And, I think we got a wellness check that I hadn't originally considered in a lot of the advocacy work that I follow and support the state of America's wealthy youth.
I agree that they're probably overlooked to a degree we didn't expect.
Yeah.
And these two shows are revealing that 17-year-olds have a lot of agency and a lot of power over their own lives. And I think it's really impressive what Annie is able to do when her father goes off to work for the day.
Just a really productive set of activities follow. What I will say about Miss Ella Rubin, our Annie, is she's very funny. She holds her own with her dad, played by Jay Duplass. I think she's very funny in exchanges with her brother before we see her head off to Canada. She has these great interactions with Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who's one of the parents on the island, and with Missy Pyle, another actor playing a parent on the island. And with these greats, she's doing a great rapport and tete-a-tete with all of them.
She leaned into the role. There's a lot of potential that this character could become annoying or just over the top.
Yeah.
And I think she makes the character feel believable in terms of a 17-year-old with this type of autonomy. And these are the interactions she would have.
I found myself laughing a lot. There was even a very corny and small line or moment where she shows up to this house in Canada and she sees some weird things happen with like outside nature because she's very much a New York City kid. And she looks up at, I think, a clock or something that unsettled her. And she just goes, yeah, I'm not sleeping here. And it's such a corny, like classic comedy line of like, yeah, I'm not doing that. But she read it in such a funny way that it did catch me off guard and I laughed.
She has good timing.
Yeah.
And I think I feel invested in Annie as a character because we quickly learn about her disconnect from her grandfather. We learn that there's some mysteries behind her mother and father's relationship. And her twin brother doesn't seem to care. And her dad is acting very shady. So I like that she is also in this mystery solving mode.
Yes, I think there are a lot of good threads. What's going on with her grandpa, like you said, what's going on with the dad, and then the adults on the island, just sort of the total 2 or 3 that I've seen thus far, also all seem to know more and at varying degrees are starting to reveal that to Annie, who is also having to play her cards close to her chest with her new friends on the island and with these adults because she's trying to find out information, but she doesn't know who she can trust as she's on this information finding journey, which makes sense because she's learning that a lot has been kept from her. So how do I know that people feel motivated to tell me what's going on?
That's true. And I think she plays it well because I imagine it would be very awkward to go to an island where everyone knows your grandfather who you don't know.
Yes.
And spoiler, let's just say inheriting an island could be quite lucrative. It's a lot.
All these people live on your island and not all of them know that they're living on your island. That's juicy.
And there's a lot of room for some big twists. I will say if you stick around to after the credits, they preview the rest of the season, which reveals a lot more that's going to go on. Are you intrigued by that juiciness.
Yes, I will watch Sterling Point on Prime Video. Seriously, I don't think anyone will be surprised by that. I almost started watching more of it, but it was such a juicy, reveal-based show. You can take that back because
Okay, I'll take it
I
back.
didn't.
You didn't, because you would have been confused about what happened in the pilot and in episode 2.
To be known is to be loved, so thank you for loving me, because that's true. And so I didn't want to turn myself around. And so I said, let me stop here. And then as soon as BJ and I record, I'm getting back to Canada.
It did look beautiful out there.
Gorge. That's the other thing that's nice about these like summer shows is I feel like they really go for a view. It's a great escape. It's like a beach read, but for your TV, which is nice. So if you are beach read on my TV Hive, if you liked stuff like 5-Star Weekend and want a YA version of it, I think you'll enjoy this too.
I agree. I think if you want a YA teen drama, maybe a little bit of youth finding themselves, this is worth watching. I would put it at would watch while eating lunch.
Nice.
I think this is one you can take step by step as Annie uncovers her family.
All right. What is your favorite Star Wars iteration?
I think we are similar in that Andor is where I think Star Wars has peaked.
Wow. Across all of the Star Wars.
I think so. Yeah, those 2 seasons, especially season 2.
Okay, that is really exciting to hear. Another reason y'all have to tap into Andor.
Check it out. There won't be any more, so just watch the 2 seasons.
And then watch him again.
Yeah. It wasn't canceled. They just chose to end it there.
That's nice too, when they're in control.
I think really Diego de Luna said he would age out of the role, so they needed to stop before he looked much older when not much time is passing.
That makes sense. It's like how on Psych they had to switch out Kid Sean in the flashbacks and Kid Gus.
Oh, deep cut.
I've been watching Psych again recently.
Well, if you want to hear about our thoughts on Psych, Andor, and other shows, head to our website, thepilotpodcast.com, and you can follow us on all of your favorite podcast platforms.
You can also follow us on social media at The Pilot Pod, and you can send thoughts, feelings, show recommendations, because every other week we do a show recommended by you, our wonderful listeners, to askthepilotpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.